Hello viewers, welcome to the Sunday Guardian Soliloquy. Today I thought I'm going to speak a little bit about India-US relations, given that there is so much turmoil right now with the H1B visa thing. And we were initially told it is going to be an annual fee of $100,000 per applicant, which the companies will have to pay or the person applying for a job will have to pay. But in fact, their Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick kept mentioning this. And the thing is, it created utter chaos. But after that, there was some backtracking. In fact, this was initially inside 24 hours. There was some backtracking by the US administration, and they suddenly started making it clear that no, it is not an annual fee. It is not applicable to those who already have H1B visa, and it is only applicable to those who want to, the new applicants. But even then, it is very expensive for American companies, and especially the smaller startups, say for example rural hospitals where lots of Indian doctors and all, they work over there, and startups which hire Indians. So you see, it is now nearly impossible for them to get new talent. So effectively what this is happening is that this is some kind of an embargo. I mean, while it is okay for them, they have every right to do it like this. I mean, put an embargo on immigration. But the whole question was the way that it has been done. As India said in its press release, I think the MEA spokesperson talked about on Saturday that this can lead to a humanitarian crisis. Now the question is, of course, the timing of it. And there are people, they're talking about, this was done at the time of Navratri. That is because lots of Indians have come home or were coming home, and the administration was sadistic enough to basically punish them. Well, I don't believe like that, but I think gradually, what most observers are coming to agree is that it has to do a lot with our Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal's visit to the US for trade talks. He's supposed to talk to Mr. Lutnick, in fact Howard Lutnick, and it's 22nd, 23rd. That's the time that they're talking about, timeline. So you see, as we know, we have already seen the kind of, basically I'm going to use the word nonsense, that is coming from the US administration, particularly because no trade deal has been possible. But the fact of the matter is that our information is that, and this has been also discussed in the media as well, that we had given them, we were very welcoming in terms of Americans, businesses and investment in India, and we had gone out of our way to have a trade deal, to kind of think of a trade deal which would give Americans access to a lot of things in our country. And we are very generally very reticent about in terms of tariff barriers and all. We had lowered a lot of things. It seems the US administration, people who were negotiating on behalf of the US, they were okay with whatever they had, whatever agreement, FTA or bilateral trade agreement that had been chalked out between the two countries. But it seems Mr. Trump did not want that, and he just put his foot down and he said, nothing doing. It is either all or nothing, all and everything. He just wanted access to our agriculture market. He wanted access to our dairy sectors that we are not going to allow American products to come in. We are not going to allow dumping by the Americans, things like corn and soybean and other things that they are, GMO also they are looking for, genetically modified crops that they are looking at. We are not going to allow that. And dairy also, there is a problem. So obviously the trade deal did not work out. And for that, Trump has his own reasons. It is because Trump is in trouble. When it comes to the rural areas of the US, the farmers are just sitting on crops which they don't have anywhere to sell. Nobody is picking up American crops. Because of the problem with China, what China has done is that China has stopped buying soybean, for that matter. You know, the, China has gone to primarily Brazil to pick up soybean, and they're not buying from the US anymore. So if you go to social media and all, I mean, it is flooded with videos about how soybean farmers are just crying for help, that their crop is going to be wasted if they do not get to sell it to China. So now, and as you know, Howard Lutnick also has been talking about what is your problem, talking about India. What is your problem? You cannot take a bushel of corn from us. You know, that is all we are going to send. Apparently, that is what they are saying. A little bit of corn you are not going to take from us. But the fact is that what are we going to take with that all that corn? I mean, we are pretty self-sufficient when it comes to producing corn, and we do not have that kind of market here in this country when it comes to corn, which is anyway a seasonal crop. So you see, so that kind of I would say mismatch in terms of expectations have come in, and what we are witnessing is that Trump is constantly increasing pressure on us. And this is also the 50% tariff we have been given. The highest tariffs two countries have got. One is this one, Brazil, and the other is India. So, and there is no, as it has been already talked about, that there is, you cannot make head or tail of why it has been done, but the fact is that he has done it, and now we are suffering. We are supposed to suffer the consequences. So you see, why he is ratcheting up the pressure is that he is increasing the pressure constantly, because he is basically trying to put us in a corner. He wants to push us into a corner, and he wants us to bend our knee in front of them. Okay, in front of him. And here, of course, the question of his personal wish for a Nobel Prize and all that also comes in. But, and also his MAGA base, Make America Great Again, that is very, very right, very right-wing, very conservative base that it has, Trump has. They are also very anti-Indian, if I can say that. Okay, and a large section of it is also, it's coming across as that quite a bit of it, at least those who are online, they are quite racist. So you see, some sort of message seems to have gone to Trump and people who are there in the administration, that being anti-India is going to please his MAGA base. So that factor has also come into it. And then his own anger that India, that Operation Sindoor, what happened, we all know about that. So that anger is also working at that, that India did not say that I should be getting the Nobel Peace Prize, Trump. Then other thing is that he cannot go back to MAGA and say that, look at it, India, they are also opening up our market to us. We have got 1.4 billion people and we are going to supply our agricultural products to them. So you see, all these talking points he is not being able to take to his base. So he has been constantly increasing the pressure on us. And interestingly, if you see, he is not taking any action against Russia, which he is constantly talking about, Russia should stop the war. India, it is like Russia is an awful country. Putin is making, life hell for Ukraine. The war should stop. What is the action we have? We are going to punish India for that. Excuse me. That is how exactly the Donald Trump's logic is coming out to be. I mean, not taking action against Russia, but okay, we are going to take action against India. But we are not going to take action against China. All right? And the thing is, you see, so the kind of hypocrisy that is there. Maybe he has his personal compulsions, whatever it is, let us not get into there. We do get to hear a lot of things, but we can't say that, obviously. But the fact is that this H1B also, the MAGA in particular, has made an issue out of it. If you go to social media, particularly X, there are these MAGA influencers who are going after Indians, the worst kind of things that are said about Indians, and they constantly talk about shut down H1B program, shut down H1B program. Well, and it seems that is what they were attempting to do, at least to please their base. But and they wanted to time it with Piyush Goyal because they wanted to blackmail us. They wanted to blackmail Piyush Goyal into making concessions so that the H1B program can be saved. But even otherwise, whether blackmail or not, but the fact of the matter is that H1B is anyway kind of doomed to a large extent because Trump's base does not work. Does not want it. So, if you are looking at this right now, we have to understand, I think the fundamental point about all this is, you see, this administration is very different from any other American administration. Now, this is basically a collection of businessmen. Trump is a builder. Howard Lutnick is a, I think, stockbroker. That is his thing. And then Steve Witkoff is Middle East envoy. He's also a builder. So this is a bunch of businessmen who, I don't know, it does not seem like that they understand government. They think America can be run like a corporation, a company. And in the process, he can get rid of, people's rights, democratic rights. We also, what happened to Jimmy Fallon, Trump just got rid of him by putting pressure on ABC. So a lot of problems that these guys are creating, and it is because they are they have that mentality, hire and fire. Okay, and as a result of which, what happens? But this is not how governments work. Okay, and I don't think they understand what governance is about. So they are making a whole mess of it. But the thing is that there are chances, of course, we will see how it goes, but there are chances that Trump will have to pay a heavy price in the midterms. We do not know that as yet, because already there is some whispers among the MAGA ideologues in particular that he just might end up losing 40 seats in the midterms. We will see how that goes. But the fact of the matter is that this whole thing, it looks like, in fact, Trump's desperate attempt to, number one, control India, to bring India to its knees, to basically blackmail India. But we must give credit to our government for not listening to anything and for just standing there ramrod straight. Yes, we will make concessions on many things, but not at the cost of our people's interest. Thank you for watching. Until the next time.